is the main event.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the main event, Mark's Podcast. I'm your first host, Troy. I'm a lifelong wrestling fan, figure collector, and my other co-host is also a almost professional figure collector at this point, and he is our WWE walking wrestling encyclopedia. He is the jumpin' Jim Brunzell to my B. Brian Blair. He's Greg. What's up, Greg?
What up? At least I got the good one.
That's insinuating that there is a good one. Well, I don't.
They're not that bad. Okay, I don't want to jump ahead, but seriously, no, I'm not going to do it. Let's just go, and we'll get to that.
I will say this. I mean, the gimmick was clearly stupid, and I hated it, but I didn't dislike either one of these guys in the Killer Bees.
I met both of them at a convention.
Oh, well, for you.
In passing at the WrestleMania 29 one, they were just there. And I didn't go get their autograph, but they walked by and slapping people's hands. So that was cool.
Well, you see whose autograph this is on my samurai sword? The Killer Bees. Because this is all I had on me at the time, and you're not just going to not get the Killer Bees autograph.
What the hell?
Step Brothers reference for anybody who gets it. Oh, man.
That's a collector's item right there. A Killer Bee signed samurai sword. Wow.
Damn straight. A Killer Bee katana, baby. Well, today, if you guys haven't figured it out from the title, you just arbitrarily click on episodes or download them, whatever. We are talking about UWF's Blackjack Brawl 1994. UWF is the Universal Wrestling Federation. This is the second iteration of it, because if you type in UWF, you're either going to get this or you're going to get the one ran by Bill Watts in the 1980s. So,
yeah, don't get that one. That one's bad. We're talking about the good one.
Yeah, we're not talking about the one who had a ton of stars that eventually grew up and went to the WWF or WCW, and they eventually merged with Jim Crockett Promotions. No, we're talking about Herb Abrams, baby.
Like, not to jump ahead or anything, but like the UWF is either ran by an ignorant racist or a coquette. Those letters were just cursed.
Yeah. UWF is just. It's something, man, and we've plugged it heavily before. We're going to plug it at the beginning of this episode. If you want to know more about Herb Abrams and the UWF as a whole, go back and watch the episode from season 2. I think it was the one right before the season finale, or was it the season finale? No, Owen Hart was the season finale.
I feel like it was right. It feels like right before. I just watched it last night, by the way. It's fresh for this, so
nice. It was a great episode.
Actually, really good. The fact that. I had no idea who he was or what the UWF was. I was like, I'm not going to say shocked, but I was like, wow, this is a really good documentary.
Yeah.
That I probably never would have watched otherwise.
Right, yeah. Yeah, Dark Side of the Ring, Season 2, and the episode is titled Cocaine and Cowboy Boots. It's on Herb Abrams. And it's cocaine because, like we said, he was a coke addict, and cowboy boots because he was a little Jewish guy who loved wearing cowboy boots, even though he was from, like, New York or whatever. Like, that one was kind of weird. But we'll get into more of that as we go on. But I think it's time. Here. Let's keep it moving here. Hold on. Pause for a second because Mrs. B brought me a new cup of coffee. Thanks, Mrs. B. Got to stay caffeinated.
Don't forget to say how hot she's looking today. I feel like he does that every once in a while.
Well, I mean, is he wrong?
No, I'm just also saying that he throws it out there to kiss up to her because she can clearly hear him. So,
right? Yeah. Hey, score brownie points, man. More Blue Chew.
You don't need Blue Chew with that.
You're not wrong, but I am serious about the coffee. Now that I've got
I got it right now.
Nice. Now that I've got my caffeinated beverage, we can move on with the show officially. And move on into the news and notes, one of our favorite parts of the show. Right after
I might actually argue it is my favorite part of the show.
Oh, for sure. We're going to cover that right after this quick break.
We'll return after these messages.
Now, back to our program.
Now diving into the news and notes. Ron Simmons, Tex Slazenger, and Shanghai Pierce were all released from WCW, and one of these things is not like the other.
Yeah, I mean, one of them gets naked.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. We've got the future Farouk, Phineas I. Godwin, and Henry O. Godwin.
Why would you release Ron Simmons? He must have wanted out. That's my theory.
Yeah, I think That's got to be it, man. I don't know why. Yeah, because he was a former. This was 1994. Wasn't this the year he won the title?
I think he won it in 92
or
93.
Okay. Yeah, I don't remember.
It was released in 94. Wow, I didn't realize that. He took almost 2 years to debut in WWE.
Maybe he came back.
Where the hell did he go?
I
don't think he came back because he was not there at the start of Nitros. Well, that was a year later, but still.
Yeah,
I don't think he came back.
Yeah. Where the hell was he?
I mean, okay, we know he wasn't in UWF, which was alive in 94.
Yeah.
If you want to call that alive. Sorry to be so liberal with that word, but I don't know. I'm baffled now.
Yeah. Because I'm looking at his Wikipedia page here, as my old friend Santiago would say. He went to ECW for a year.
Oh, that's right. He was. That was when it was Eastern Championship Wrestling. That's right.
Well, no, it was officially Extreme Championship Wrestling in 1994. Apparently,
well, he was there when it was. He must have been there right before it changed, because I think Jimmy Snuka randomly was also an Eastern Championship Wrestling champion. So
yeah, I think he was.
I said it all the way out for a reason, by the way. Just
yeah,
but yeah, so they did a weird cast of people there.
And it said he unsuccessfully challenged for the World Championship against Shane Douglas at November to Remember, and then had matches with Mikey Whipwreck and 911. I'm sure those were barn burners.
Mikey Whipwreck was really good later.
Yeah.
Clearly when he's just,
cannon fodder.
Greener than a nice patch of grass, man.
Wow. Yeah, and I don't know, I kind of want to see that match with him and Douglas now to see if it was any good.
That would be the one of these three to watch at this point.
And I like Shane Douglas, but I'm trying to imagine Shane Douglas in 94 beating Ron Simmons.
So you mean like the weird gladiator against the evil teacher?
No. Gosh.
Those are both coming soon, by the way, from this point.
It appears that Ricky Steamboat's injury is not only legit, but legit enough to the degree that it might actually be career-threatening. He's out until January at the very earliest.
What match is that in?
I don't know. I don't know what happened to him, how he got hurt.
Oh, I think it was the match against Austin. He shoves him off the second rope and he lands like right on his ass, but like at a weird angle.
Ooh.
I think that was the one. It was like a Clash of the Champions, I believe. Or it might have been pay-per-view. I don't know. But yeah, they're like getting ready for like a superplex or something, and Ricky's on the second rope, and I think Austin just shoves him down or he falls or something, and he lands just like really awkward angle.
Wow.
What's the injury? Is his back, tailbone, or something like that?
I didn't see what the actual injury is.
I'm pretty sure that's it.
I remember watching his match with with Austin at Beach Blast before it was Bash the Beach.
That might have been it.
That was a really good match.
That might have been the match. You realize, by the way, him and Rick Rude have both gotten hurt in like really weird ways in WCW. Like he got hurt falling off the second rope. Rick Rude got hurt falling out of the ring, right, or off the side of this. It was the riser of the ring, right? Like
because Sting did a top rope, like dove over the top rope onto him, and he fell backwards. His back hit the. It was similar.
Fell off of the platform, right? Because the ring was on a platform, right?
His back hit the edge of the platform, kind of like when Michael's back hit the casket,
right.
but worse.
Yeah, just didn't even look that bad. Go back and watch it.
So
I get it. You know, stuff like that happens. It's weird how the worst things don't even look that bad. Like Ricky's team literally fell on his ass. If this is the one I'm thinking of.
Well, Dynamite Kid took a knee to the middle of the back when he hit the ropes, and it just it was more like a thigh. It wasn't even a knee. Which,
that's right. Yeah,
wrestlers take that a million times. So, but yeah. Either way,
stuff happens. I mean, just not anything.
Freak
It's
accident.
crazy.
Speaking of freak, right? Speaking of freak accidents, here it wasn't necessarily an accident, but something freaky that I wouldn't expect considering the caliber of this guy in 1994. But Jim Ross was supposed to have his contract with the WWF renewed, but there were partial problems with his football announcing schedule getting in the way, and much larger problems with the company being pissed off about his interview with The Torch.
Boomer Singer.
Apparently he didn't say, I don't remember what he said in The Torch, but I don't think it was anything like horrible. They were just mad that he talked to him and did an interview with him. So, I don't know. Ross said he remembers the exact conversation where McMahon sat him down and he's like, I have a plan for the future, and you're not in them. And Ross was like, okay.
Damn, that's rough, man. Just right there. Rip the band-aid right off, man.
Yep. Yeah.
I've never heard that story.
Yeah. Ross said that was one thing that really, was like, okay. And after that, when he came back, he was a little more jaded. I mean, this was obviously not the end of Jim Ross in the WWF. He would come back, obviously, and have a fantastic career. But, this was a rough patch for good old JR. here's where another Jim in the news. Here's where we start falling off the cliff here, man. There's two stories involving Mr. James E. Cornette. And,
oh man, this is already gold.
And you and I already talked about, we're not going to talk about his crap from present day, but this is newsworthy stuff from 1994. We must talk about it. So here you go.
I'm ready.
He talked about this story on Table for Three with Eric Bischoff, kind of going back and forth with him. And was it JBL, the third guy, or no, Michael Hayes?
Michael Hayes, I believe.
Okay. There was one with JBL. I think it was JBL, Bruce Pritchard, and Eric Bischoff is the other one I'm thinking of. But this one, Jim Cornette got Ole Anderson fired since Jim was going to be bringing in Ole's son so that into Smoky Mountain Wrestling, by the way, so that Ole was cutting promos for him for Smoky Mountain Wrestling in the parking lot of the training school, and Eric Bischoff just so happened to be driving by when he saw him there, and he fired him the next day. Essentially, it was going to happen anyway because WCW is in a cost-cutting mode anyway, but this just gave them a solid reason. Do you remember hearing about this on the Table for Three?
Vaguely.
Yeah, Cornette was pissed off that Eric Bischoff would do such a thing, and apparently Bischoff told it because he pulled up in like a sports car and kind of told him off for doing this, and he said, "You're making a really bad decision with this, Ole." And Ole kind of was like, yeah, F off, Eric, whatever. And then the next day, Eric was like, "Well, you're fired." So, I mean, look, it's not, I might get some flack for saying this, but it's Ole Anderson in 1994. Were they really losing a whole lot?
No, we didn't get flack for that. He was garbage.
Hey, they
replaced him with Barry Windham. They just traded up with that one.
Yeah, I know. Nobody has, like, other than Jim frickin' Cornette, whoop-de-doo, nobody has anything positive to say about Ole. Nobody. He was crap. He told Ric Flair, "Now that you lost to Kurt Hennig on TV, what good are you to me now?" As if losing to Mr. Perfect was, like, oh man, you just lost to James Ellsworth on national TV. What the hell how am I going to make you a believable champion now? Like,
Ric Flair in that era could lose to James Ellsworth and still be believable, so what the hell?
Yeah. Well, that wasn't the worst Jim Cornette story, by the way. You ready for this one?
Am I?
This one is the shock of the century, by the way. He was arrested on September 12th for vandalism and destruction of personal property after smashing the car windows of a former Smoky Mountain Wrestling employee fired by Cornette on August 7th after Cornette accused him of stealing a tennis racket and then blamed him for a lot of negative publicity surrounding the promotion as of late.
He stole a tennis racket.
That one blows my mind.
Good Lord.
Yeah. And the guy
stole a tennis racket. Well, allegedly. He stole a tennis racket.
Yeah. Well, he smashed the Smoky Mountain Wrestling employee's car window with a baseball bat. He was later released on $5,000 bond. The employee was Casey O'Connor. He claimed that Cornette still owed him $300 in expenses that he had paid out of pocket. Then Cornette remembered that O'Connor had borrowed a video camera from him and called looking for it. And O'Connor got pissed off at Cornette because Bruiser Bedlam was apparently allowed to stay in O'Connor's apartment with Cornette's blessing while he had been out of town. And if that's true, that takes a lot of balls. It's like, oh, you work for me? Well, that means I'm going to let people stay in your apartment when you're out of town. Like,
no.
Yeah, hail to the no. Especially Bruiser Bedlam, who is, if anybody doesn't know anything about him, he was a wrestler for Smoky Mountain Wrestling who was accused of, and I think he flat out admitted, being a former hitman for the mob. And he did a lot of jail time. So
that's a lot of broken thumbs.
Wow. So the argument quickly escalated, and Cornette blew his stack, shocker, and O'Connor said that he was keeping the video camera. So Cornette drove over to the apartment and made sure to block O'Connor's car in so that he couldn't escape the parking lot. And then he got into a shouting match that ended with Cornette threatening to go get his baseball bat and smash up the window if he didn't get the camera back. O'Connor wisely called the police while Cornette was in the act, and Jim ran away and got out of town before turning himself in the next morning.
Lots to unpack there.
This seems so out of character for Jim. I can't believe it.
My favorite part is the stolen tennis racket. Like, dude, you stole his gimmick. What are you doing?
Now, how dare you?
That's a no-no.
You take a big, expensive professional camera. Hell no. You steal from the company. That's bad. But god dang, you take his tennis racket, you're going to hell.
I don't think he believes in hell, right? He's an atheist, so.
That's true. Just so much weird crap with this story. Obviously, Jim didn't spend that much time in jail, but just wow. All right, this one is the one I've been waiting for a while to talk to you about, man. As soon as I copied, I was laughing while I copied these stories down, quote unquote stories, because I wanted your take. You're a big UFC mark, right?
Kind of.
Okay. Well, keep in mind this is from UFC in 1994, so you weren't like deep into the product at that time.
I
But
think I watched it and started watching until 2000.
okay, well, here's some editorials from the Dirts. Oh man, Uncle Dave Meltzer during this time questioned the legitimacy of UFC and didn't believe it was truly a shoot. He also said that they had no TV and no real stars, so it was not likely to succeed. Wade Keller, in the September 17th issue of the Pro Wrestling Torch, published a, quote, expose on the fakeness of UFC, citing slow-motion replays of punches that, quote, missed just enough to still look good. Apparently, Wade's sources, quote, sources, also claim that the prelim fights are real, but they're huge mismatches set up because promoters know, quote, who can beat who.
Yeah.
Where do you want to start, Greg?
Well, first with Dave Meltzer, because he's a huge fan now. So what changed?
Maybe he got in good with the Fertittas and Dana White? I don't know. He said it was fake. Him and Wade Keller are calling it a work.
You go back and watch any of this stuff, they're literally like punching each other in the nuts. This is when that was still legal.
Wow.
There's footage of guys being taken out on the, because this one was like a freak show. Like you have like a 500-pound dude against a 110-pound guy. And you can see guys taking,
but yeah.
you can see guys taken away in ambulances and stretchers. For some reason they showed that back then. You can go watch it on old shows. Like you can see them. Like this was the night when they had like one-night tournaments.
Yeah.
Bro. And obviously they have to fight multiple times if they won. But then there's like so many times where they had to pull someone out because they were an alternate, because someone was hurt. What are they trying to do? Like make this like wrestling? Is this why Keller sometimes said it was competition at WWE?
Probably. I don't know, man.
I don't know what to do with any of that.
They said it just blew my mind.
This sounds more like Dave Meltzer contrited bull crap, of course.
Yeah. Well, Wade Keller sitting here going, oh, well, in the slow motion replays, you can clearly see that the punches are missing. Like, what? It sounds to me like they sat there and tried to overanalyze this crap.
You don't say.
You've got to be effing kidding me.
Good Lord.
It's like complete garbage and completely stupid. And to your point, they were so many times they were so injured they had to be taken out of the damn tournament during the night. I mean, you could say, oh, well, that was a work. They wanted the other guy to go in there, but no.
Then why the hell did why do they so many times like John McCain fight to have it banned and stuff, like all that, because it was a work?
Yep.
And why do they need regulation from? Why do they need regulation from athletic commissions? Why do they need to pay all the taxes for being a sport?
Because they were trying to recreate the old days of pro wrestling.
And why the hell
was real?
Why did only one state allow it for the first 2 years?
I don't know. Well,
not to crap on it, but we're going to just say it. Alabama allowed it. What does that tell you? But anyways,
Alabama. Wait, you mean to tell me that UFC was only legal in Alabama for the longest time?
Yeah.
Wow. I was today years old when I found that out. Wow. Okay. Well, you're getting a little heavy with with some of the UFC stuff, but let's cover all of it here, man. There's more. Speaking of that company, UFC 3 was supposed to be another easy win for Royce Gracie, but Steve Jenham, I think is how you pronounce his name, but Steve Jenham was put into the finals as a last-minute substitute for the injured Royce and won the tournament. The tournament, bro. Royce Gracie was gone forever, bro. Never seen again. But not
yeah,
really,
he was. You see at UFC 60 against Matt Hughes where he got tapped out. Come on, we see him again?
Well, Ken Shamrock won a pair of matches, but then bowed out of the finals, also due to injury. Chemo was by far the most memorable contestant, and more importantly, put such a beating on Gracie that he was knocked out of the tournament. The show was actually in some jeopardy, with Request TV threatening to pull it at the last minute, and various media outlets characterizing it as, quote, human cockfighting. Like
that was the term coined by John McCain.
Yeah. What this event really showed was that after 2 pay-per-views where strikers and boxers were completely dominated by ground fighters, the game is evolving already, with strikers now mixing in wrestling and jiu-jitsu to achieve success against guys like Gracie. However, the format and product are so brutal that it's inevitable that someone is going to be seriously injured. Like you alluded to. I can't imagine in today's UFC somebody fighting twice in one night.
They tried it in Bellator a couple years ago. It was King Mo. I believe he won his fight and then ended up having to pull out because he got hurt in the first fight. I believe it was him. So, yeah, they tried to bring that back. Well, Bellator did.
Yeah, I think that's a stupid idea. Many of these are stupid ideas.
I mean,
also,
the fact that even like when you get very little damage, you get medically suspended for 30 days tells you right there you should not be fighting twice, even if you don't get hit.
Right. Well, the thing I was thinking of with this is I pulled out the editorial about this, but I don't know if this is true. You know more about the history and whatever. But supposedly, Hoist Gracie was like, one of the top dogs calling shots in UFC back then. Is that true?
I heard it was true. I don't know if it is, but
okay.
Apparently he got to pick his opponents, and he only picked the huge guys because he knew he could beat the hell out of them easily because they couldn't move.
Yeah,
which I guess makes sense.
Yeah, because what I was reading was that Hoist was handpicking his opponents of people that was like, oh, I can beat their ass. And when he didn't get to pick his opponents, he got paired up with people like you just mentioned, Matt Hughes, who dominated and embarrassed him.
I think Shamrock would have beat him too if his foot didn't get caught in the stupid gi.
Yeah.
I can watch that fight. His foot got caught in the gi. He probably would have had him. I don't think he should have been allowed to wear a gi, but.
Well, that was his major complaint when he came back to the Fertitas run UFC was that they were like, no gi. You have to wear shorts or trunks or whatever. And he got like very pissed about it and said it was unfair. Like, no, it's what all fighters wear. It prevents people getting caught in your clothing. Like, for God's sake. But all right.
He never got over that. I mean, he never moved past the old year. He didn't want to evolve the old stuff. And that's what cost him.
Yeah, he kept complaining that it wasn't strictly like jiu-jitsu and karate and crap. So,
yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, like, I don't know. Well, they did say, I mean, do any of the karate fighters actually win any, like the pure karate guys? Do they actually win anything in UFC anymore?
I mean, Leo Machida had a little success, but not really.
Well, wasn't he a little bit of Brazilian jiu-jitsu as well?
Well, I mean, they all are nowadays. Like, that's almost like given, but he was a karate guy.
Oh,
dude, watching the UFC, every time someone comes out, oh, he's high-level jiu-jitsu. Like, yeah, okay, we get it. They all do. It's like they're all the pound-for-pound best, Joe. We get it.
Wow. Yeah, that was the thing with Dave Meltzer, and Dave Meltzer and Eric Bischoff got into a disagreement about that because Meltzer said that karate guys don't amount to much in UFC, and they kind of get their asses kicked more than anybody else. And Bischoff vehemently disagreed because he said he's a karate guy.
Proof's in the pudding, dude. Uncle Dave's actually right on this one.
Yeah,
karate doesn't do jack.
Right.
I mean, hey, beating up you or me with karate, fine, but not a trained fighter. You're going to get your ass beat every time.
Well, yeah. If it's karate versus karate, that's fine. But this is the last story of... It is. Last story of the news segment here. Herb Abrams would only run 3 more shows after his Sports Channel America deal expired in late 1991. This included a television taping in June of 1992, a television taping in July of 1993, and then the Blackjack Brawl in September of 1994. The latter show was a disaster in both attendance and critical reception. We will get to that. Abrams left for New York City to care for his ailing mother in December of 1994, and wrestler Al Burke was put in charge of the promotion. A February 1996 card called St. Valentine's Day Massacre was scheduled to be broadcast live from Grand Olympic Auditorium on Prime Sports Network, but was canceled. Zoogs Rift, working for the company during this time, and claimed that Abrams' cocaine addiction drained the company of money needed to produce such events. Abrams died of a cocaine-related heart attack in July of 1996 while still in New York. So there you go.
If you watch the special, by the way, some people claim he might still be alive and fake his death.
Yeah. He, like Andy Kaufman or something.
Yeah.
This was just, he was a nut, man. And there was a thing saying that, I mean, if you go back and listen to interviews, and the thing is, like, people will be like, "Oh, Herb, he never paid me, and he was kind of a nut, but such a good guy." Like, nobody talks crap on the dude. I mean, they say the truth. Have you noticed that?
I did, yeah.
It's weird.
The guy who was Sunny Beach, I believe, was like breaking down in the middle of that, and he's like,
yeah, he loved
hurt.
Yeah, he loved Herb Abrams, and even Honky Tonk Man was talking about that because he did a short stint here. And he said, supposedly, there was one bank account that Herb paid people like Andre the Giant and Bruno Sammartino out of, and then another bank account that he paid everybody else out of, and that bank account had no money in it, so the checks would bounce.
And which one did he pay his hookers with?
Probably that second one.
Also, anyone hears that, I'm not joking. He literally paid hookers with checks. Watch the special.
What hooker worth their salt is going to take a check?
They're freaking hookers. They'll take anything.
I don't know if you mean that as an innuendo, but yeah.
Bump, bump.
But all right, that does it for the news. Let's get into the actual event at hand here after this short.
We'll call this an event.
Right after this short brizache.
We'll return after these messages.
Now, back to our program.
All right, time to dive into UWF Blackjack Brawl 1994. Took place September 23rd, 1994.
Sorry.
From the MGM Grand Garden Arena, Las Vegas, Nevada.
I am not doing anything else, by the way. I'm just, oh, Lord, here we go.
Yeah. Well, the total attendance for this was 600 people.
Yeah, at the MGM Grand, by the way. Do the math on that.
Do you know how many people can fit into the MGM Grand?
100,000?
It's 16,800. 16,800. They sold 600 tickets.
Sold? I mean, it's in Vegas. There's a very good chance some of those were comped.
They probably would have done better if they comped tickets, but I think these ones were legit buys. But
that's like how many people were there?
600.
That's 600 drunk idiots with too much money on their hands.
So that means they had 16,200 empty seats.
And don't worry, folks, if you watch the actual event, I don't recommend it, but if you want to have fun, you will see all those empty seats. Because they do not hide them.
Yep.
Especially during one particular match, which we'll get to.
Yes. Oh, for sure we will. Well, we start off with Herb Abrams doing his best Vince McMahon impression over the opening promo.
That was cool to listen to.
I know. Mr. Electricity. We also get a press conference we see a press conference with the least charismatic wrestlers in history. Brian Blair apparently was setting himself up for wrestling retirement where he was going to become a rapper. Because if you listen to his thing that he said, it was all rhyming.
Okay, never mind. I'm not gonna
I'd buy his album.
You rushed to Best Buy and be the first one in line to get it. People may not get that reference. It's something Zack Ryder did when the Macho Man CD came out. He said he rushed to Best Buy to get it because it was going to be sold out right away.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's a real story.
Ludwig Borga not only looks like a dollar store Brock Lesnar, but he also cuts a promo like him as well. He's like sitting there, sunglasses on, kind of leaning over the table, holding the microphone like I don't give a crap, and like looking over at everybody talking junk. Like, so whatever. For some reason, Dan Spivey attacks Herb Abrams during the press conference. I didn't care enough to figure out why. Herb's voiceover then introduces Herb Abrams. That was the funniest part.
I want to point out real quick, one of the first notes I made is you can actually hear the commentary over, like, this whole package. They were talking, oh yeah, this is going to be an awesome night. Throughout the package going, like, opening the show.
Holy hell. I didn't catch that part, thank God. Well, I just love how Herb's voice says, and now, Mr. Electricity, Herb Abrams. It's like...
Wait, that was... I heard that. I just didn't piece that together.
Yeah, wow. He introduced himself with a voiceover. Oh. That sounds like the worst podcast intro ever. Standing in the ring, he looks like he's about to explode from a heart attack, by the way. And
I was going to say, you can already see the coke sweating off his forehead throughout this.
I think he was very drunk this night. I could be wrong. Herb introduces Blackjack Mulligan, the grandfather of the Fiend, Bray Wyatt.
I was about an hour into this when I realized how much sense it made to have Blackjack Mulligan at the Blackjack Brawl, by the way. I'm not joking. I didn't realize that until after. It's like, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
He's wearing a leather cowboy vest, by the way, that he had airbrushed. On one side, it's Dr. Death Steve Williams' head. On the other side, it's Sid Vicious's head, because they're in the main event. So he got a custom vest for this show. Gosh. But anyway, Blackjack hypes the main event into a very weak microphone, by the way. You barely hear him.
That's good. Well, you probably it was a good one when Herb Abrams got spit all inside of it and Coke juice.
Oh, good Lord. Color commentator John Tolis then says that If it's not the UWF, it's not wrestling. And he gets very angry and animated about this, by the way. He then makes a fairly racist joke about Italians never paying. There's more to come on that.
There's a lot of... This guy sucks, man. I know,
Yeah.
I mean, stating the obvious, but like, man, all night, I got like so many notes on his, or not so many, but quite a few notes on commentary stuff that they do. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, I had to look him up, because I'm like, who the hell is this guy? Apparently he was, they make you known that his nickname was the Golden Greek, which original, like 5,000 people had
Italians
that.
hate each other? Maybe, I'm not trying to make an excuse for racism here, but trying to find a reason he would say something like that.
I don't know. I don't know.
No.
But, and he was Canadian. He's
Okay,
Canadian Greek.
I'm really confused, because those are really nice people, so I don't know. I don't get it.
Well, say that to Bret Hart.
Hey, when I went to Canada, I experienced it. They were all super nice. I didn't want to leave.
Yeah. Well, he was in a long-time rivalry with Classy Freddie Blassie in his wrestling days, so that kind of tells you how old this guy is.
I got much help you're coming. So.
Wow. I don't want to speak too badly about him, but I mean, like, come on. He died back in 2009 at the age of 78 of kidney failure. So, look, we're not talking about him as a person. We're talking about his commentary, blah, blah, blah. Getting that out of the way right now, because we're going to trash this guy.
No, we'll say with Herb Abrams, but...
Yeah. Well, the ring announcer is also absolutely horrible. Basically begging...
Got a few notes on him, too.
Yep. He's basically begging this very tiny crowd to make noise and talking throughout every entrance. He says things like, look at this guy, and wait till you see what this guy can do, as they're coming down the aisle.
My first note on him was, it was either Johnny Ace or Dan Spivey. Which one was the face? Johnny Ace?
Yeah.
We're getting to that match, but not to jump ahead, but in the intro for Johnny Ace, he goes, come on, folks, you could do better than that. Clearly acknowledging that their applause are very mute.
Yeah. Like I said, he's begging people to cheer and boo and whatever. It's sad. But we're almost 10 minutes into the show, and Herb Abrams has already been heard on or seen on all 10 of those minutes. Like, he loved being on camera.
Yeah, you thought Brandy Rose was overexposed. Good lord.
I know. There's a story Mick Foley told about this show where he knew it was going to bomb the minute when Herb Abrams comes in. It's like, I have something great to show you. It's really going to be a huge thing for the show.
That was the first thing I remember from rewatching that last night.
Yeah. And he said, oh, it's going to be big for the Blackjack Brawl. And he's like, all right, cool. Let me see. And he brings it in. It was like a bag or something like that. And he's like, I can't even remember. And he opens it up. He's like, check this out. And it's brand new custom yellow cowboy boots with UWF branded on them. And like Mick Foley thought it was a joke. He's like, oh, like this isn't it, is it? He's like, oh, this is going to be great, Cactus. People are going to love it. And he's like, custom cowboy boots.
I literally would not have noticed them unless I watched that special first.
Yeah,
So.
me neither. They don't show his feet on camera except like once or twice.
Yeah, that's when the camera's pulling away and there's a scrum in the ring or something.
Yeah, it's pathetic. Speaking of pathetic, let's get to this opening match. It's Dangerous Dan Spivey.
Don't be so liberal. It gets worse.
Dangerous Dan Spivey taking on Johnny Ace with Missy Hyatt in his corner. It's for the UWF America's Championship. Keep in mind, there's only 2 matches on this whole card that aren't for titles. This went for 7 minutes, 20 seconds. Spivey versus Ace. I had to put this note first. I said, Spivey versus Ace looks like toast versus butter toast. Bland versus extra bland.
Dude, that's Waylon Mercy and the brother of Animal, dude. You shut your mouth.
Oh, God, yeah. We got the other skyscraper and the other Laurinaitis.
That sounds so terrible.
However, I will say that mullet on Johnny Ace is extra bodacious.
Hell yes, dude. There's quite a few mullets in this one, too.
Full form.
Before we even get into it, because I don't want to say this a million times, did you notice that almost every single person on this was a beach-looking white guy with, like, bleached blonde hair?
Yep. Even Dan Spivey had his old blonde hair. I mean, he was losing it, but it was there.
And also, there is not one black wrestler in this whole show, I don't think.
I didn't think about that until now, but you might be right.
I point that out because I'm like, wow, this is a time where there weren't a lot of black stars. I think they'd probably be okay staying away from this garbage.
Yeah. Right. Couldn't even get. You mean to tell me they couldn't even pull Junkyard Dog in '94? Like, come on. I think he was already like really out of shape and
Just couldn't
Yeah,
wrestle.
because that.
Severely out. Severely out. I know where you were going.
Yeah.
And Kamala was the only other one I could think of, and he was in WWE at this time. So
yeah. Spivey locks in a tight abdominal stretch, and Missy Hyatt throws in the towel for Ace. Ace gets angry and chases Hyatt to the back. So Missy Hyatt turned on Johnny Ace, I guess. I didn't care. Uncle Dave did not watch the show. God bless his heart. But I got my rating.
Huh?
I know, right? Well, it wasn't in the Tokyo Dome. It was just in the MGM Grand. I did get match ratings from 411 Mania. They gave this 1 star. I gave it 2 for below average. It wasn't like god awful, but it wasn't good. What say you?
I gave it 1. I couldn't stand it.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
One of my first things in this, I don't know, it's after the match, but it ties in with this. The announcer's already been racist. How about some sexism here? Did you catch what he said?
Yep, I got my notes here. After the match, Spivey grabs Herb Abrams and drags him into the ring. Blackjack Mulligan has to break it up, and Spivey takes off with the title belt and Missy Hyatt. John Tolis then goes from racist remarks to sexist remarks, saying, quote, "You can never trust a woman, especially such a beauty as Missy Hyatt."
Well, the part that I caught was, from the first time in history to now, women have double-crossed men left and right.
My God, I didn't catch that one. But I did catch that you can never trust a woman. I've always said you can't trust a woman. If you were married, John, I'm sure your wife was a lucky gal.
I'm not trying to be funny here. Maybe he was gay.
Oh my gosh.
No, I'm saying, maybe it's just, he doesn't like women. I'm not trying to be funny. I swear, maybe
that was my...
hates them. I don't know.
I don't know.
From the beginning of time, that tells me he clearly doesn't like women at all. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Whatever, I don't give a damn, but I'm just trying to figure out why he would say this.
Yeah. Surprised he didn't go on a rant about getting cooties.
Good lord.
Up next.
Real quick, before you even go, because it's in the same context of this, they're promoting the next match. Did you know he called Mondo Guerrero?
No. That's great.
But, okay, it's okay, maybe he called a mistake, but then the other announcer clearly corrects him. Mondo Guerrero, he says.
Good lord. That's the first of many mispronounced names on the show we'll get to. But
well, that one just made me mad, because I love the Guerreros, obviously. So, and also their legendary family, it's not like never heard of guy out of Mexico.
Yeah, it's
and
not
they
like
clearly know who he is because, oh man, his whole family is wrestlers. So okay, they clearly know. So this guy just needs it.
Yes. You don't say. But up next we
obvious
have
statement of the podcast.
Up next we have the Guerrero. It's Mondo taking on Wildman Jack Armstrong, who I've never seen or heard of ever.
Or again. And if he's passed away, I did not mean like that. I just meant in wrestling.
Yeah.
Did you notice the announcer, by the way, when Jack Armstrong was coming out? Here comes Jack Armstrong. Jack Armstrong, folks. He's a mean one.
My God.
I don't know why that made me chuckle so hard. He's a mean one, folks.
That announcer sucks so bad. But this match
also, I want to point out, we're talking about the ring announcer, not the commentary. The ring announcer.
Yes.
It's important that we preface that.
He's over the house speakers, people. So, yeah. But this is for the UWF Junior Heavyweight Championship. It lasted 4 minutes, 36 seconds. These guys look like they should have been wrestling for the UWF Geriatric title.
Holy crap.
Seriously.
I'm not going to be able to do anything today without busting a rib now. Thanks a lot.
The play-by-play guys sets John Tolis up for more racist remarks about Hispanics. Mondo does.
Bill Watts is nowhere to be seen, by the way, to endorse this crap.
Nope. That's the wrong UWF. Mondo does an Asai moonsault to Armstrong, and John Tolis says that he's never seen a move like that before, which, now that I know he used to wrestle with Freddie Blassie, I can buy that. But unfortunately, during the moonsault, Armstrong fell backwards and busted his head on the safety railing, busted himself open. Mondo misses a top rope moonsault, which Tolis calls a reversed somersault. I don't even know what that is. I'm sorry. This is so bad. Armstrong then follows it up with two, I put in quotations, jumping elbow drops for the pinfall win. I say jumping because he got up like an inch and came down. It was sad. 411 Mania gave it 1.5 stars. I thought it was a decent, fun watch for 4.5 minutes. I said 2.5 for average. What say you?
2.5.
Maybe 2.
You know my rule about not wanting to give matches zeros. I'm going to go with 1.
Well, Herb Abrams I wish he prevented this, but he presented the title, and Armstrong cuts a really weird promo, finishing up by saying, "I'm a thinker, not a stinker." Like, what?
I got 2 notes I want to say about this match. First of all, the first thing I noticed is it looked like they were both just waiting for the other dude to do their move. Like, okay, you do yours, I'll do mine, whatever, boom, boom, boom. That's what it felt like to me. Like, there was so much time when they were just sitting there waiting for something to happen from the other guy. Didn't you catch that?
I didn't notice. I just thought it was a slow motion match.
And then the other thing I had to point out, this one.
Oh, man.
The guy's like, "Oh, this is a great opening match." Well, they're like, "Well, this is the second match, dude." Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, Johnny Ace and Dan Spike.
My God.
Like, it's so bad. They forgot they were already matched in.
Holy hell. You can't make this crap up. And why would you?
Yeah, before we started this podcast, I really thought about telling the listeners that, Troy Adams owes me 3 hours of life for this. But I actually had fun watching it. It was like fun reviewing it. But
yeah, it's fun because it's like so bad. It's like so comedically bad. It's good. Well, it's not good, but it's comedically bad. So it's like watching a comedy
I feel
show.
you. No, it is comedically bad. That is good. I mean,
yeah,
It's on YouTube. Go watch it.
Yes, in full.
And if you're drinking while doing it, I will not judge you.
No, if you're doing crack cocaine while watching it, I will not judge you.
You may legitimately need pot to watch this, though. I really believe that.
Yeah.
You need to be stoned or something. Or something needs to be controlling your mind to watch this. But go on. Sorry.
Up next, we get the aforementioned Sonny Beach. He's taking on Dr. Feelgood with Missy Hyatt in his corner because she just turned heel 2 matches ago, and now she's full blown, even with a matching doctor's outfit.
First of all, Dr. Feelgood, I have a feeling he's Herb Abrams' friend.
Probably.
Dr. Feelgood, come on. That just sounds like a coke killer, but whatever.
Also, they were using licensed music during this show. I don't know if you noticed that.
I did, because my favorite one was, I believe it was Johnny Ace, came out to Dire Straits' Money for Nothing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he came out to that.
Which was cool, but like, it's one of those songs that takes a minute to kick in, so like, by the time it kicked in, the match was starting.
Wait, was it like him or Cactus Jack?
No, Cactus came out to, I know what his was, but I forget what his was. Money for Nothing was definitely Johnny Ace. Because I had to crank up the TV, I'm like, is that Money for Nothing? Oh, it is. And then like, it's like Enter Sandman though, it's like, this song is kicking for like a minute.
Right. I wonder if he had the censored version or if he had the one with the gay slurs in it.
There was no censored version back then, I don't believe. I don't think they censored it until like 1999, actually.
Oh, wow. Well, how about that?
I think that's how, yeah.
Well, I feel like the reason I brought that up is I feel this was a missed opportunity because how did Dr. Feelgood not come out to Motley Crue?
I know.
I just like, what? What the hell?
Dr. Feelgood.
Also, we get another
I
don't know. That should have been a nickname, not like his government name. I don't know.
What is a nickname? It's what Herb Abrams calls him when he gets his coke. He called Dr. Feelgood.
Good Lord. But we get another bodacious blonde mullet in this match from Sonny Beach. Which,
with a name like that, you better have one.
But I feel like the name Sonny Beach is like ironic because if you look at him, he's not exactly a surfer-looking dude or like a beach bum.
He should be ripped a little bit more.
He should look like he doesn't live on a steady diet of Krispy Kreme, at least.
And his skin tone should look like he's getting ready to headline Starrcade.
Yeah, not like he might be related to Sheamus. I don't know. Dr. Feelgood's mullet, however, is horrible. He, shaved his head to where it's just, real short, and then long curly hair in the back. But he seems awfully proud of it. So...
Well, you're gonna do that purposely, you better be proud of it.
This is like, I only have 5 teeth and ride in the back of Daddy's pickup truck kind of mullet.
Good Lord.
I don't know. Partway through the match...
You said that.
Through the match, Beach is draped over the middle rope and Hyatt clocks him with her high heel. Oddly, that is not the finish. Dr. Feelgood pours what's supposed to be ether, I guess, even though it's black, into a rag. And he goes to put it in Beach's face, but Beach sees it coming and shoves it in Dr. Feelgood's face and pins him because apparently that's legal, and the referee just lets it go and counts. I forgot to mention this went for just under 5.5 minutes, and it was for the UWF Sports Channel Television Championship, which is that...
There's a mouthful.
Yeah. That was the fancy one that they show on the documentary, though.
Yeah,
the
guy
white
said
strap.
The guy said it's his prize possession, right? And he said if you hold it a certain way, it's saying F you to Vince McMahon, right?
Yeah, if you, because the side plates aren't actually plate, like, it's actually like a U, a W, and an F. So when you fold it, it says, you just see the F on one side and the U on the other side.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, it is a cool looking belt. And I didn't see one ugly... Wow. I didn't see one ugly looking title on this whole show. I'll say that. That was the prettiest part of this whole show. And that's where it stops. But, yeah, 411 Mania gave this 1 star. I gave it 1.5. I don't know. I'm being generous. What say you? 1
freaking star. Also, just want to point out this is probably not the first time that Dr. Feelgood's inhaled something like that. Anyway.
My God. I like how when he's done, he like flips his mullet like, you know, like a beautiful woman flipping their hair over their shoulder.
Oh, hell yeah. This is a match to be proud of.
He should have grabbed the mic and been like, follow that, and then went to the back.
And then we get the next match, which does.
Oh, yeah. Well, after the match, Missy argues with the referee and Beach grabs her doctor's coat. Dr. Feelgood grabs the ether rag and shoves it into Beach's face, dropping him. Herb Abrams and Blackjack Mulligan come out to tell Dr. Feelgood and Missy to leave. We then get a commercial with some jabronis pimping UWF t-shirts, like in a parking lot. And then Sid Vicious comes in to act confused and needs help finding his way to the arena. Yeah. He was trying to find his way to the arena. And then he decides, well, while I'm here, I'll help you guys sell some t-shirts too. They played this commercial like 20 times throughout the night, by the way.
Yeah. Let me just make a note I made, because I saw the second one. I believe it's probably the same one. Did you, excuse me, did you realize that Sid said, a shirt of Sid is like an autographed baseball of Nolan Ryan?
What the hell?
He said that.
What? My gosh, I've heard of hyperbole, but holy crap.
Dude, I had to rewind it and hear it again. I'm like, did you just say that? He did.
I've got to ask, is Nolan, that bar that we went into in New York, that's Foley's, right?
Yeah.
Do you know, they have I'm sure they do, but they have a baseball signed by Nolan Ryan?
Hell yeah, I took a picture of it, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I kind of figured, I just figured I'd ask, but what the F?
They don't have a shirt of Sid there, though, but, you know.
Yeah, so that's meaningless. Their entire collection is meaningless. They should have gotten this UWF shirt of Sid Vicious. Damn it.
Oh, man.
This was brutal, much like everything else on the show.
This commercial clearly was done in one shot. Like, please just do it right, because we only got enough film for 30 seconds.
We're live, pal.
Wow, I missed that one. Damn it. Yeah. Oh, perfect.
We get yet another in-ring promo from Herb Abrams and Blackjack freaking Mulligan talking about how amazing the UWF is and pumping up the main event of Sid Vicious versus Dr. Death, Steve Williams. Okay. I don't hate Dr. Death. He's okay in the right circumstances. I'm not a huge fan of his. All right, I might tune in to see one of his matches.
I've always thought he was one of the most overrated wrestlers I've ever seen, but that's just me.
Well, don't say that's somebody from Oklahoma, but
Boomer Sooner. Now it's Jake Hager, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've never been a huge fan of his, but if he's wrestling the right guy, I'll be like, okay, cool. I might get interested. But I've always been a Sid Vicious fan, but this match, I didn't care at all. But we'll get to that.
Don't jump ahead, because there's still some gold to go.
Well, hell yeah. Speaking of gold,
Speaking
of gold, we got Cowboy Bob Orton Jr. He's defending
in 1994, folks.
Yeah. He is defending the UWF Southern States Championship against Finland Hellraiser Thor, which is I'm blanking on his name now.
Oh, and WWE was Ludwig Borga.
Yeah, Ludwig Borga. Oh my gosh.
Dollar Store Brock, that's probably going to be the quote of the pod, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe. There's still a couple to go.
Now
that I look at him, he did.
Yeah, he looked like him at a press conference. This match went for 6 minutes, 12 seconds. You might crap all over me for this, but I'm sorry, but this is honestly the first match that I actually got into all night, like at the beginning, because they did start off hot. Like they ended up
I definitely will crap on you for that.
Well, they started off brawling, and it was like when a match starts off hot like that, I get into it because Borga or Thor or whatever the hell you want to call him, Finland Thor. Hellraiser Thor. What the hell ever. The stupidest name of all time. But his brawling was okay. Bob Orton's a legend. But they end up brawling all over ringside until the match just gets thrown out. Bob Orton's bleeding out of the side of his head. While they're still brawling, the moronic ring announcer is trying to lead the crowd in cheers. Yeah. They're brawling all over the place.
Probably the most enjoyable part of the match for me is that crap.
Well, they're like, Orton's bleeding, they're beating the hell out of each other all over ringside, and the ring announcer is, come on, people, let's hear for these guys. Yeah, let's get some cheers going. Like, what the F?
Let's get some cheers going. Thus acknowledging that nobody's cheering this crap.
I mean, I don't know if he said exactly that, but it's not far off. 411 Mania gave it 1 star. I gave it 2. What say you?
Lord, man, this is easily 1. This is probably the most easy 1 I've given all night.
I don't know, man. Well, after the match, Blackjack Mulligan interviews Bob Orton, and he tries to cut a promo on American Pride.
With that raspy voice.
Yeah, well, they had to see who was the most honky between Mulligan and Orton. And I don't know who won, to be honest with you, but that
the fans, we all won.
Well, hell yeah. I would say with that airbrush jacket of Mulligan's, I'd say he probably won. The next match is the match of the night, man. It's the Karate Kid versus Little Tokyo.
Good grief.
And this is the name of the title. It is the UWF Midget World Championship. It goes for 7.5 minutes. Little Tokyo wins the match with a body press into a pin. I didn't take any other notes other than that. After the win, he's handed the smallest championship in history. I thought the AEW women's title was small, but my God, that looks like the big gold compared to this. And he tries to talk into the mic and to Herb Abrams, but he seems to not be very good at English, so it comes off really awkward. And he's confused as to where he even is. 411 Mania actually gave it 2.5 stars. I gave it an even 2. Because for a little person match, it wasn't awful, but it wasn't a good match. What say you?
I'm trying to figure out if you and I are watching the same match. My first note on this, my only note really, this was literally nothing, literally nothing but rest holds. I counted 7 freaking rest holds in this match. They grappled
in a minis match.
Yeah, dude, that's all they did. I mean,
yeah,
man, I wanted to have fun watching this. Okay, I did because, good Lord, I don't want to take heat for this, but sometimes their matches can be fun to watch. I mean,
yeah.
And
well, we've discussed
this in the past pod too. In certain countries, Mexico being one of them, I believe, this is not a sideshow or whatever. This is actual legit stuff they love watching.
Oh yeah,
okay, I'll watch it. I'll try to have fun. I couldn't. It was just so boring. It was just. Man,
I will say, kudos to them for trying to make the minis not a joke, because I mean they presented this like any other match on the card, which I thought was cool. They didn't. Oh, now here come the midgets, folks! And wow. And then they blow the freaking confetti cannons and have them running around the ring and do a stupid spot with a referee or something. So, I mean, kudos to them, but it was boring. I don't know.
I just, like I said, I couldn't even get into it if I wanted to.
The video messes up during Sid's promo, so I didn't catch what the hell he was even saying.
Oh, no.
Yeah, well, because he did his typical, he grits his teeth and he talks like this into the mic. And it's like, when the video's messing up, that's not going to translate well.
It only takes 6 takes.
Yeah. Hold on, let's do that one again. We're live, pal. Had to get in it again. Sorry. This next one, man. Mother of God. So it was, this one for all of you. There was a DVD of this show. I just putting that out there, letting it sit. There was a DVD of this show.
Well, I think the DVD itself sat in a couple of dollar stores in its day.
Oh yeah, that's a safe bet. But on the DVD, I found this out because 411 Mania, whoever was reviewing it, bought the DVD to watch it for them.
Oh man, they must have expendable money.
Yeah, well, they could write it off as a business expense. But this match and the next match were not on the DVD for some reason. And And the next match after this is a title match, man. So how dare they leave it off? Yeah, so they didn't get to rate these ones, so it's only my ratings for this. This match, though, it was a revenge match that went for 4 minutes, 13 seconds between Samson and Irish Assassin. And
I got to point out that Samson looked just like Randy the Ram Robinson. Anyone? Did you catch that?
I did not catch that, but a little bit, yeah. In less expensive gear, I'll say that. And the Irish Assassin, now he'd put the double ass in Assassin, that's for sure.
Wow.
I said, if nothing else, this match is filled with lots of beef. These two men looked like Brockus versus Brockus. It's just horrible. And I said, that's literally all I can say about this match. Samson wins with a bridging vertical suplex pin that I've never seen before in my entire life. I gave it 1 star, but I really should have given it 0 stars. I did. What say you?
Yeah, 1.
This was horrible. They looked good. They dressed like crap. They wrestled like crap. Just the Irish Assassin.
I might be out of laps at this point.
Yeah. The Irish Assassin was, I don't know, he was just wearing black pants, black boots, a black beret, and he had like black paint on his face, like he's going to war. I don't know. And Samson was just in some like striped shorts. I don't know. Is just blah. They didn't even try. But Sid,
thus saying that people on the show were trying.
Yeah. Well, Sid and a few jabronis pimped the UWF hotline because, I mean, damn, man, you really want to talk to Sunny Beach? Call in.
He's like, if you call right now, you may be able to talk to one of us.
Oh, yeah. Hey, can you get Dr. Feelgood on the line?
Yeah, I need to resupply him out.
Yeah, I need a line on some uppers.
There's a couple of puns in there.
And then we go to like the actual MGM Grand area. It looks like a mall, but Steve Ray is like seen leading some random children through the MGM Grand to hang out with him. That's not creepy at all. So we're kind of establishing this guy as a pedo before he even comes out in this match. Is that it?
All right, touching that. Leaving that alone.
So this next match is Steve the Wild Thing Ray versus Tyler the Lion Maine.
Okay, you said Tiny, but did I get that wrong? Okay.
Nah, I messed up.
Spoiler, by the way, the rating for this match is going to be Tiny, so there you go.
Good Lord. It's for
I'm trying to save you some editing. There you go.
It was for the MGM Grand Championship. It went for just shy of 7.5 minutes. I said, poor Steve Ray. He really thinks he matters and he's part of a big show. I mean, did you catch that entrance where he comes out acting like he's Shawn Michaels at a sold out Madison Square Garden? It was.
I'll say this. He looked like the happiest guy to be there.
Oh, for sure.
That.
Oh, yeah.
Like everybody else knew this was garbage. He was like trying to,
he was
get in the moment.
He was happy to have a job at this point. I mean, like, and he looked like a wrestler. I will say that. I mean, he
probably the only one all night.
Yeah, he was in the top like 3. It's just Tyler Mane. For those that don't
really light, but
yeah. For those of you that don't know, Tyler Mane played Sabretooth in the first X-Men movie.
Yeah.
He was also Michael Myers in the Rob Zombie remakes of the Halloween movies. So he's like a legit actor now, which is cool because he was not a legit wrestler. Steve Ray goes for a sunset flip, but Mane sits down on him and grabs the ropes for the 3 count. I just realized I forgot to rate this match, but
trust me, you can say 1 star and you'd be fine.
I'm going to say between 1.5 and 2 stars. I didn't totally hate it. And I'm grading on a curve here, Greg, because, I mean, come on. Otherwise, yeah, I'm just going to say 1 star throughout the whole show. But, yeah, this was blah. So you're going to say 1 star?
Yeah. Look, I didn't just hand these out, by the way. I legitimately watch these matches, okay? I did not go in this wanting to crap on everything. It's just, that's how it turned out. Seriously.
Well, if you want something to crap on, Greg, up next. It's Candy Divine versus Tina Moretti for the UWF Women's World Championship. This went for just shy of 3.5 minutes. That's right, 3.5 minutes. The moronic ring announcer keeps calling Candy Divine Candy Devian. Candy Devian.
Yeah, also he repeated everything. Did you notice that?
Yep. He was horrible. Candy, Debbie. It's clearly Divine. However, UWF apparently can't figure out how the hell they want to spell Candy's last name in their graphics. Because in one graphic it said, like, I think it said D-I-V-I-N or something, and then another one was D-E-V-I-N-E. So they can't even figure out how her name is spelled. The ring announcer can't pronounce it. It's just like, gosh. And that's probably the most entertaining part about this whole segment.
I was going to say, can you get to the match? Because this is where the good stuff's about to happen.
Well, Tina Moretti, for all of you that don't know, is WWE Hall of Famer Ivory before the
She was good?
surgery.
Yeah.
Well, the good, too. Yeah, because when she came out, I was like, I know that's Ivory.
I actually knew her. I actually knew who it was because of the name.
Well, yeah, because I heard Tina Moretti. I'm like, oh, that's Ivory. And then she came out, and I'm looking at her. I'm like, if I didn't know any better, because like a couple things are missing. No,
I don't know what to do with that.
well, they are. I mean, unless she hadn't hit puberty yet, I don't know. Just not to be sexist about it.
Because you know what? Now you're taking a whole other thing, and I don't even want to get in that subject because now it's getting weird.
Good Lord. But Divine wins after
Hey, I'm okay with
basically...
sexualizing him. Don't sit there and make it weird like a pedo thing.
I was just saying maybe she was an adult that hadn't yet hit puberty. I don't know.
Is that
she was
possible?
Ask Justin Bieber.
Asked and answered. Okay.
Okay, yeah, there you go. Divine wins after basically a scoop slam off the second rope. 411 Mania gave this a 4th of a star. I'm just going to give it a dud. What say you?
This is another one that I wanted to give 0 stars to, but
I don't, if anybody has listened to our archives, I'm very generous with my star ratings sometimes. It takes a lot for me to give you a dud. Well, this was that a lot.
I feel like if you were watching this without the announcers, people would think you were watching porno because of the way it was going.
Well, there was that, and I heard Candy Divine was okay. I know Tina Moretti is good. So I realized they had 3.5 minutes, but mother of God, I saw better matches in the Divas era that lasted 2 minutes.
Yeah, I know.
I don't get, like, what the hell happened here?
Well, they didn't have Fit Finley. That's all my guess.
Yeah, maybe. Tina Moretti at this time was only known for being on Glow, by the way. Dr. Death Steve Williams gets some promo time in because, you know, if there's one thing we need, it's Dr. Death on the mic. For those who...
That's my note. That's what the show is missing. A Dr. Death promo.
Yeah, because that's going to turn this whole ship around.
Oh my God.
He's known for some just classic mic work in the old NWA. Just some good stuff that you and I are going to have to talk about. Well, he name drops Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair here, saying that he can't get them on the phone, but Sid Vicious accepted his challenge.
Yeah,
okay.
It seems like he's in the same realm as those two.
Yeah, let's just say he did call them. You can't get them on the phone because they're blocking your calls there, Steve.
They only talk to wrestlers.
Hey, that's a little unfair. But...
Actually, yeah, he was a legit wrestler. Or was he a football player?
Both.
Well, I meant they only speak to sports entertainers. How about that?
They only speak to people who matter in the year 1994.
Okay, I mean, and then you made it worse. Cool. I'm not the worst anymore.
Well, he mattered in Japan. That's literally. I'm not trying to be mean.
So does Bob Sapp. What's your point?
Well, Steve mattered in all Japan, which in the 90s actually was a good thing, and they made a lot of money because of Giant Baba. But either way, he just
convinced me that I'm wrong. Sorry. He
was a big draw in Japan. He was a big deal over there. He comes to America he'd been in America and he was a big deal in the 80s and whatever. This is 1994. Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair just tore it up at Bash of the Beach. They don't want to answer your calls, Steve. They're probably thinking,
go call Bart Gunn. Yeah.
They're probably thinking he's calling asking for a job. And then
at this point, Jim Ross worked for the other guys.
Yep. Well, can you imagine if, let's say all this is real and he called them and they screened his calls. They're screening like Olympic drug testers. and he leaves a message and it's not him begging for a job. And it's him. It's like, hey, Hulkster, come meet me in the UWF for the world title in the main event of Blackjack Brawl. And Hogan's like, did Dr. Death just call me up with a series of mini strokes? Like, what happened?
I like to challenge what you just said, calling to ask for a job. Do with that what you will, but whatever.
Well, he would be doing the job. Speaking of doing the job, man, our eyes did the job here up next. It's the Killer Bees, B. Brian Blair, and he spelled out the B in B. Brian Blair as B-E-E. So,
I think
yeah.
just the letter B, Brian Blair, was probably trademarked by Titan. That's just a guess, but
I'll get into that here in a second. But it was B. Brian Blair and Jumping
again, that was
Jim
just my
Brunzell.
guess, so.
Yeah. Well, they are taking on the new Powers of Pain, which are the Warlord and the Power Warrior. When they announced the Power
Not the Barbarian, yes.
No. Yeah, because Barbarian clearly had better things to do in WCW at this time.
No, I think he was part of the new head shrinkers in WWE, maybe.
Oh, well, that's still
he's either in WCW or he's about to be Sione in the new head shrinkers. Either way, he's not there.
Yeah, poor him. But the Warlord is, and when they first announced, because I heard the name Power Warrior before I saw the guy, and at first I was thinking, oh, that guy that Animal replaced Hawk with Hawk replaced Animal over in Japan with I can't remember who it was. No, but they called him the Power Warrior, so I thought that was it, and then I see this guy, and I'm like, what? Who is this guy? I'm just gonna get into the notes here.
Yeah, because I looked, I don't have any idea either, so.
Yeah, well, we get some more sweet mullets from the Bees starting out. Until now, due to the WWF legally owning the Killer Bees, UWF had been calling the team Masked Confusion.
That's what this whole event is.
Which, that took me till just now. I get it now. Masked, now that I say it. Masked Confusion instead of Masked Confusion. Okay. That took me a minute. However, tonight...
Today's years old.
Yes. However, tonight, Herb basically said, F it all, and went with it anyway, even though it was trademarked.
Well, to be fair, Vince probably didn't do anything because he knew nobody was going to see this, so. If a tree falls in the woods and no one's around, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I think somebody said, if Dave Meltzer's reporting to trees in the woods and nobody's around, is he still wrong? But this is where I put in when the new Powers of Pain came out. This is where I put, this is 100% not the Power Warrior from Japan. This guy looks like the dude who changed my oil at the Valero in a singlet.
What the hell?
He does. He's wearing like a do-rag and a weird singlet. He looks like Rick Steiner's cousin who was like, I want to be a wrestler too.
Wow.
He's like, no, little Jimmy, go back home.
I don't know if it was just me, but I feel like I saw him and thought it was the guy that was Mantar, except like 100 pounds lighter.
Well, he's so insignificant, he doesn't even have a Wikipedia page. So that tells you all you need to know.
I want to scoff at that, but then I'm like, in this day and age, even like the lowliest jobber has one of those. So yeah,
everything has a Wikipedia page. Everything, and he does not. So there you go. The Warlord gets on the middle rope for an axe handle drop, and John Tola says he's 15 feet high in the air.
With his arms extended on, I think it'd be 15 feet, but whatever.
Yeah. Warlord takes out the ref with absolutely no repercussions. I don't know if it was an accident. Power Warrior switches out with a twin, and that twin locks Blair in a full Nelson. That twin also changed my oil one time. The camera completely misses the Warlord coming off the second rope with an axe handle when Blair moved, and the Warlord hit, quote, Power Twin number 2, which... That sounds like a knockoff of the Power... Wait, were they the Power Twins at DC? Like they put the rings together? No, the Wonder Twins. Excuse me. Sounds like a knockoff of them. But the camera completely misses all of this, by the way. And then Blair pins the guy for the win while the Warlord just stands there looking stupid. I say looking as if he's not. 411 Mania gave this 2 stars. I gave it 1.5. What say you?
This is the only match that I watched and was like even remotely intrigued by. I said 2.
Man.
I just, it wasn't, my notes honestly said it wasn't that bad. It wasn't like,
it wasn't horrible, but it was not good. It wasn't
the worst piece of crap. No, it definitely was not good. It's just, I don't know, I got into it. Maybe it's because, I don't know, when I was a kid, I liked the Killer Beast, but I don't know, but I try to put that aside, but it's like,
I thought the Killer Bees did fine in this match. Power Warrior was green as grass, and then the Warlord...
I think you have to give points, too, for 2 guys carrying a whole match, so...
Yeah.
That's part of it, too. Because the Warlord's garbage. Sorry.
Yeah. He was, and always will be garbage. And I apologize, I think is he dead?
No, I don't think so. No.
Okay, that's okay.
Oh, the
that's
Powers
right,
of Pain still have matches at random shows, I believe.
That's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, I was talking to Jacob Grandi about that on our bonus show from August, where we covered SummerSlam 1988, which was far and away not even close to a better show than this. So, go listen to that. Either way, Jimmy Snuka cuts a weird promo that ends up with him saying that we're going to get to see some excitement tonight. It's about damn time. Spoiler, he was wrong.
Spoiler, you don't.
Yeah. I will say, if for nothing else, this had to have been a dream come true for Mick Foley getting to wrestle Jimmy Superfly Snuka.
That was my one note. I'm like, wow. Mick Foley's like, facing the guy that inspired him to wrestle. So
yeah, and
that's kind of cool.
And a guy who also inspired another episode of Dark Side of the Ring.
Yes.
He, most likely he murdered somebody. Just putting that out there.
I don't want to pass it off or anything, but like at this point, he's gone now, and so is obviously the person he murdered. So it's like,
yeah,
I'm not trying to say it doesn't matter. I'm just saying, well, I guess at this point it kind of doesn't. They're both gone now, right? So.
Yeah. Well, I think he was found.
God,
guilty.
I don't want that to sound so bad. I just, you know what I mean when I say that. It's like,
yeah.
At this point, if the guy's gone, I mean, I feel bad for his daughter. She's got to live with it. That's the part that sucks.
Yeah. That's the thing they were talking about. Like, his kids had nothing to do with this. And yet,
I'm pretty sure they weren't even a thought. They weren't even a thought when this happened, I believe.
No, I think it was 82, 83. So I think they were both born after that. I mean, his son is adopted, but his daughter, like, I don't know. It's Jimmy Superfly Snuka taking on Cactus Jack in a lumberjack match, which is a laughable stipulation. We'll get to why. This was one of the longer matches of the night at 9 minutes and 3 seconds. Jack tries getting a table at one point, but the lumberjacks threw him back in the ring. Snuka takes a bump on the commentary table and gets tied up with the commentators and the lumberjacks. The stupid play-by-play guy says, quote, "This shouldn't happen in America." Like, what? What does that even mean? Was he trying to be funny?
I missed that, but yeah. I was just scoffing this whole time.
Yeah. Well, Cactus and Snuka end up fighting through the lumberjacks and into the crowd as the lumberjacks start fighting with each other. Jack and Snuka fight into the many empty seats and get counted out. Although they claim that they were disqualified. I think they were counted out. I don't know. It was something. The match was thrown out.
My only note for this match is, why the hell would you go into the audience when you have 16,000 plus empty seats?
Yep. That's, well...
Not just in the audience, by the way. They went upstairs, into all the empty seats.
Did you ever read Mick Foley's autobiographies?
I did, yeah.
Okay, well, I own his first one. I didn't read the Foley is Good one, but in Mick Foley's first autobiography, Have a Nice Day, A Tale of Blood and Sweat Socks, he wrote that UWF promoter Herb Abrams didn't want him to lose, and that there was, quote, "no way I was going to let Jimmy lie down for me." When the Lumberjacks said that they can't go to a double countout, Cactus told them, "We can do whatever we want. It's Herb's show." He even says that in the documentary, by the way.
Yeah.
411 Mania gave this a half a star. I give it 1 star, just because, I don't know, it's Jimmy Snuka and Cactus Jack beating each other up.
Do you need to even ask me what my rating is?
Did you give it a 1 or did you give it a dud?
It's close to a dud, but I thought it was fun and nostalgic seeing this happen.
Yeah. That's why I gave it a 1.
The first thing I was thinking about was like Mick Foley, like this was probably a highlight of his life right here. Like besides having his kids and getting married, this was probably a highlight for him. So I don't want to crap on that. So
yeah, this was just complete garbage. The worst match I've ever seen either one of these guys ever have. Just good Lord. Jimmy Snuka, for reference, I realize it was Chris Jericho, but he had a better match like over a decade later at WrestleMania. So
yeah, Kerry Jericho. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's it. Le Champion.
We'll return after these messages.
Now, back to our program.
Here, I put this. You might, I might be going to hell for this one, but I mean, I don't know.
Oh, just for this?
Yeah. Well, after, I can only assume, taking a huge bump of coke, Herb Abrams hypes everyone up for the main event.
Dude, seriously, I felt like he was yelling at me and threatening to kill me if I didn't watch this match.
Yeah, it's like, why are you yelling at me? Because I'm Mr. Electricity, god dang it. Speaking of which, the main event was Dr. Death Steve Williams versus Malicious Sid Vicious. Because apparently he needed to add a nickname. Look,
I'm just going to say before we, during the match, he gets a big hit off. I didn't want to miss saying this. The announcer says, also, I forgot to say this for the last match. One of the things that made me laugh about the last match the most was the announcer was like, these are the world's two best right here, folks. Talking about Cactus and Snuka. That made me chuckle.
Oh, well.
My first note on commentary from this match is Sid hits a big move, and the announcer goes, "That's why they call him Delicious Sid Vicious, folks."
My
Who the
gosh.
hell called him Delicious?
Oh my gosh. The commentary was garbage.
I don't think I've ever heard that for Sid Vicious.
Nope. It was malicious, Sid Vicious, people. And I think it's horrible. But it was for the UWF World Heavyweight Championship because of course it was. And it went for 11 minutes, 1 second. Sid actually cuts a kip up during this match. I thought that was impressive. All there is in this match are body slams and chin locks. Out of nowhere, Dan Spivey runs in and attacks Dr. Death, getting Vicious disqualified. Vicious and Spivey do a double-team powerbomb on Williams before Johnny Ace rushes in with a chair and chases them away. It's the only time anybody's ever acted afraid of Johnny Ace.
I was like, he should have came with a skateboard and hit him with it, but...
Oh my gosh. This, I didn't get 411 Mania's review, star rating for this, but I can only imagine.
It's that bad, huh?
Yeah, I forgot to secure that rating, but I gave it 1.5 stars. What say you?
I gave it a solid 1. I said this match was so boring, they just beat each other, bumped into each other, and wrestled each other the whole night.
And I know they can both do better than this.
Do you remember the ending? I feel like the ending was botched. The referee counted 3, and there was an interference. He clearly hit 3. It's like not 1, 2, 3, boom. He hit 1, 2, 3, and then boom. It was clear as
I
day.
didn't catch that one. Wow. No, I didn't catch that one. Well,
wow.
After the match, Johnny Ace and Herb Abrams check on Steve Williams and help him out of the ring. Abrams, ever the optimist, asks Williams if he would be willing to face Vicious in a rematch in a steel cage. Williams agrees to it, also being an optimist. We then have a shouting, awkward face-off at the end of the show between Abrams and Blackjack on one side, Vicious and Spivey on the other side. John Tolis really does a hard sell job about how great he thought this show was once we get to the end. This was embarrassing. And they kept calling, this was another, I was talking to you about this, was another one that was like, oh man, they're freaking optimistic as hell, because they kept calling it Blackjack Brawl 1.
Yeah, I caught that, yeah. That was one of my first notes I forgot to write, actually. It's like, 1? So you thought there were going to be more of this crap?
And they told us to check our local listings for 2.
Ideally, 2 is probably going to be a year away, give or take, right?
You would think.
So we're checking our listings now for something that's going to happen in a year?
Yes! What are you getting about this? It all makes sense, Greg, don't question it.
I'm stupid, I don't know. I clearly.
Yeah, we're the stupid ones. Oh my gosh. I couldn't get John Tolis off my TV fast enough. This was awful.
We'll return after these messages.
Now, back to our program.
411 Mania gave this 3 out of 10. CageMatch.net gave it 0.71 out of 10. I gave it a 4 out of 10. What say you?
I gave this a solid F-. This may have been the worst wrestling show I've ever seen. And I've watched Year of the
Wow. Wow, really? This worse than that?
This was worse than that, in my opinion.
Oh, that's rough, man. I don't know. This was,
At least they
good.
had, Zeb Culture on commentary on that, so they had someone who knew what they were talking about. And I know yes, I'm really fishing here, but
yeah, you're reaching.
This show was just bad, man. Like,
bad.
The worst piece of crap I've ever seen. This was horse crap booked on coke, is what this was.
What the hell? Yeah, this just, I don't know. I can't say anything positive about this show whatsoever.
If I had to nitpick, I guess the positive would be the Killer Bees. I guess.
Sure.
I had a lot of laughs, I'll say that.
Yeah, I laughed a lot during the show.
If I'm going off of, like, feeling good, after watching this, I'll give it a solid A+, because I was laughing so hard. I'm like, this put me in a good mood because of how bad it was, if that makes any sense. I'm not joking. I was like, wow, yeah. I just watched this crap and Some
Yeah,
tells me
crap is the key
that's
word.
why Vince never bought the UWF library for the network. I can see it now.
Yeah. Who would want this?
Hey, it's content. That's all.
Yeah. That's reason enough, I guess. I don't know. Either way, well, we've got 2 more shows the week of September left. One of them being a bonus show. So 3 shows altogether. And you and I are going to have fun with that bonus show, man. Next week we've got.
This one's going to be good, actually. And
Oh, well, yes. It wasn't garbage. I'll say that. But
to be fair, how low was that bar for good now with this show? So
yeah. Well, the next 2 actual podcasts, not the bonus show, but the next 2 actual podcasts will be good, especially the last one of the month. September 23rd, it will be WWF Raw is War from September 22nd, 1997. This was the day after I turned 7 years old and right before I started watching wrestling. This was at Madison Square Garden, where Stone Cold Steve Austin stunned Vince McMahon. If you want to know some other info about the show, the main event was Bret Hart versus Goldust. We got Cactus Jack versus Triple H in a street fight.
that one I'm excited to watch again.
Yeah. We've got the Intercontinental title tournament going on with Owen Hart and Brian Pillman, Ahmed Johnson, Rocky Maivia, that one, man. And the LOD versus the Nation of Domination, as represented by Farouk and Kama Mustafa. So this was a good show, and I'm looking forward to seeing it. I haven't watched it since probably, well, I don't know if I've ever seen it, actually, from start to finish. So I'm looking forward to it, for sure. And then September 30th, our last official podcast of the month, it is WCW Fall Brawl 1997. We're bringing a good one in here. I'm excited to cover that one.
I might argue that's a great one. But
yeah, that's the one where it was main evented by the NWO versus the Full Horsemen. There's a big swerve, bro, that we're going to get into. Great historic stuff. And then our bonus show for the month, we are going to be talking about WCW's Fall Brawl 1995. This was right after, and I mean right after, the debut of Monday Nitro, after the release of Big Van Vader. There was a lot going on here. The Dungeon of Doom was still a thing. The Giant was starting to become
fire, man.
Yeah, and they had the big, I almost call it, I mean, he is the Big Show, but they had the Giant. He was just starting to become a thing. So there's a lot of comedic stuff to get into on that show, but all in all, it didn't suck. There were a couple really good matches on that show, and some other things that we can have fun laughing at. Like, spoil, just a little sneak peek. Mr. Wonderful has a segment on this show, and it's something.
It's a doozy.
It is. Oh, October. I'm very much looking forward to October. I'm not going to ruin what we have in store for October, but obviously we're going to bring some Halloween Havocs to you. Looking forward to those big time, very much. So we've got some WWF goodness coming to you, Halloween themed and all that. So
I
good
believe this
stuff
is going to be a month
for
with good
October.
shows, right?
October?
Yeah.
Yes. I believe October and November, I've got all good stuff. You've got some great stuff coming for the rest of the year, but I swear the rest of September will be good. If you didn't enjoy this week, if you didn't enjoy
Why do you not
All In
enjoy this?
right, if you weren't enthralled with our Saturday night's main event show last week, then you're going to like the next 2 shows. That's all I'm saying. And the bonus content. We're trying to make it up to you. But thanks for
Also,
joining
I think
me
it
today.
helps. It helps to do stuff like this. It's not just WWE.
Yeah, it's therapeutic to see some garbage.
It also just goes to show you that no matter what anyone says, even during this period, WWE was the hottest ticket in wrestling. No matter what. This proves it right here.
It was, and WCW was quickly coming up because they had the Hulkster brother.
No, 94 sucked in WCW, though, so.
What are you talking about? Starrcade was headlined by Brutus the Effin' Barber. Care to retract? No?
Move on.
All right. But anyway, that is coming up. Thank you for joining me today, Greg.
Yeah, thanks for doing this to me.
We will see you all next week, where we go to 1997 yet again for Monday Night Raw.